She's not talking
Oh,
yet.
hello.
Oh, hello,
I'm
Sheila.
here. Hi. Oh, no. I look really big compared to Andrew, which is not the case at all.
Don't lie to the audience, Sheila. You're 6'3".
I'm taller than people. I'm taller than people think. They think that I'm just because I'm thin, I'm just tiny, but I'm like long, like a greyhound.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rebel Daily live stream. I am Andrew. I'm with my co-host Sheila Gunn-Reid. Sheila, why don't you tell the viewers what we're doing here today?
I don't know. I look a little pixelated, don't I? Like there's somebody on the Wi-Fi, Netflix, uploading stuff, downloading stuff. I'm sorry if I am a little laggy today. I don't know what's going on there. This is the Rebel Daily News live stream, or Rebel News Daily live stream. I don't know. Both work. But anyway, we used to just be hosted on Friday by Ezra Levant on YouTube. The pandemic struck. Everybody got grounded. You guys were all locked into your homes like common criminals. And we thought, you know what? We've got a captive audience. Let's talk to them. So we did that. We expanded the live stream to 5 days a week. And YouTube sort of went full evil censorship right after Joe Biden was elected. Isn't that strange, right? And so they deplatformed us, basically, or attempted to deplatform us and just make it not really worth our while to broadcast on YouTube. And demonetized us, taking about a $400,000 cut right out of the middle of our company. But there are 1.5 million people on YouTube, and we love every single one of you. And so we don't want to abandon you, but we do want to invite you to move over to another platform very, very quickly before Andrew and I start talking about anything remotely important, because YouTube has blasphemy laws, basically, about public health officers. And so we would invite you to join us over on Rumble, Super U, or Odyssey. And all of those platforms allow you to support the work that we do completely willingly through a tip or a chat or a Rumble rant or a hyper chat. And so we'll do that. And we sort of have to wrap it up pretty quick here on YouTube, because anything we say that is contrary to the deities of your local public health officers will get us sort of nuked from YouTube. And I mean things that were, like, there are things that we can say today that we couldn't say 7 days ago. We can even be skeptical about certain things 7 days ago, and then they're like, oh, follow the science. And we're like, we tried, and you were going to censor us. So, I mean, it's crazy. Anyways, Andrew, take it away.
So send us your Rumble rants on Rumble, hyper chats on Odyssey. And is there one for Super U? There's a Super U tip as well. You can send it on all those platforms, because we will be leaving YouTube after a couple segments here. I believe what we want to get to is a couple Canadian political stories. The first is Justin Trudeau's surfing paradise in a place called Tofino.
This guy.
So what was the special day called? Reconciliation and what day?
Truth and Reconciliation Day, where Justin Trudeau lies to everybody on the Truth Day. Yeah.
Nothing's more truthful than a made-up day from the government of Canada. So Justin Trudeau creates this day because he does not do a good job servicing Native communities or reserves with boil advisories, which is insane. Like, I'm not a big social justice guy, but when you have places in our country that can't drink their water, it's insane when you've been in power for 5 years plus. So he creates this day to suck up to the mainstream media and to make himself have a better image with Native Canadians who already aren't happy with him. I would have to imagine. I'd like to see maybe a survey on that. But then he decides, you know what? I don't have to go to like any of these photo ops, which I would normally go to. I don't have to go to work. I'm going to go on vacation to a beach where frankly, the RCMP did a horrible job. Why is somebody able to walk up to the Prime Minister in the middle of nowhere like that?
Yeah.
And is there anything else I'm missing here, Sheila? He goes to a surfing destination. I think it was a privately owned place. What's the added details here that some people might not know about?
Okay, so he goes to Tofino, BC, which is on Vancouver Island. It's a place known as Surfer's Paradise, and it is. I mean, my family has gone surfing there, so it's pretty nice. But what happened was Justin Trudeau basically ghosted invitations from the Kamloops band, where the discovery of potential graves happened. The band that we sent Drea to visit, where there was a residential school discovery, or rediscovery, if you will, depends on how you look at it. They invited him to come to their Truth and Reconciliation Day twice, and they never heard from him. He literally got in the government Challenger, flew over Kamloops, and went to Tofino to go surfing, and then he called them the next day after his itinerary said, oh, it's a private business day or whatever. And then it was them saying, he's definitely not on a beach somewhere. Definitely. And that's when I'm like, yep, totally, he's on a beach. I'm like, you're totally on a beach somewhere. And as it turns out, in a rare stroke of actual journalistic curiosity, the mainstream media did their job and found Justin Trudeau literally walking down a beach.
Yeah, could we play that? There we go. Why are you able to get this close to the Prime Minister? I believe no matter who the Prime Minister is, they should have proper security. here's
Yeah.
the RCMP finally coming up. The person could have done anything to the Prime Minister, gotten in his face, if that was just a random person. So I don't approve of that.
Is that even Sophie?
I have no idea. It's interesting that they didn't get a shot of that, though. Maybe they got paid to get a shot of that. But Sheila, if I'm a Liberal Party public relations officer, as they give their names in the industry, I'm saying, you know what? Maybe internally, the Prime Minister didn't go to this invitation because, you know, it wasn't what it was supposed to be. They were going to, you know, try to talk to him about policy, not about reconciliation or anything like that. But that goes without saying because he's invited apparently to a bunch of different ceremonies across the country, and he didn't go to anything. He didn't go, the guy who's supposed to care so much didn't go to any of the things that he was invited to on the day he made up. I call it Government Virtue Signal Day. He didn't even virtue signal on self-appointed Government Virtue Signal Day. Has he given up? I mean, I've always thought that Justin Trudeau did not get along with Native leaders. Whenever I've seen him in meetings with them, he gets more frustrated, kind of like he gets frustrated when a female journalist questions him, because he can't just yell at them or call them racist or something. But has he just given up on this idea that he wants to, you know, get along with Native bands and further what they would say is a divide between the government and Native tribes across the country?
Well, I think it's not just about Indigenous bands. This is the thing that's happening now. But yeah, it's weird how he abandoned his, like, I'm on one knee, sort of gently weeping, holding a teddy bear over a grave to just enjoying a good day on the beach, him and the old lady, you know, like it. But I think we're going to see more of this. This is just the most recent thing that he's doing post-election. But I think he could be more brazen than ever. I don't even know how that's possible, but, you know, like, he basically has gotten away with 5 years of groping women, firing women, breaking his promises to Indigenous people, mocking them when they try to hold him accountable, when he says, you know, thank you for your donation, when they're like, hey, by the way, you're poisoning us with arsenic in our water, or mercury, sorry. Wrong poison, it was mercury. But when they're like, hey, yeah, by the way, you promised us clean drinking water, we're drinking mercury, by the way. And he's like, thanks for your donation. Like, he has got and wearing blackface 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times, because I don't know if one time is the same as the other time. Like, he could, as my friend says on Twitter, he could get away with punching a baby in the face if the mainstream media thought that baby was conservative. And I think we're just going to see more of this. He has gotten away with 5 or 6 years of just doing whatever the heck he feels like and facing no consequences and getting reelected. So this is only going to embolden his bad behavior, I think.
Yes, and I think during the last election campaign, he got even more, you know, dictatorly and angry and divisive, and he admitted he was being divisive and he didn't care. And yes, I realize I pronounced it divisive and divisive in the same sentence. Producer Andrew, and I don't know how much you guys have spoken. This is my first live stream with him. We've got a new producer named Producer Andrew. We can nickname him AD if we want. But he needs a graphic for when he inevitably gets shout-outs. Our old producer, or something. It doesn't have to be a graphic. It could be a sound. Yeah. I need you, AD, to come up with some sort of flair, as they say in the movie Waiting. You need flair. To signify yourself. But the point was, he's telling me we've got footage right. of this mansion that Justin Trudeau was staying at, and he said, was it $19 million, this home? Let's take a look at that. There it is. We've got a fancy, huge bed and couch there in the middle of the forest. I mean, I don't expect the Prime Minister to stay at a crappy place, Sheila, but he's supposed to be, you know, he's supposed to be slumming it. He's supposed to be the cool Prime Minister who walks around with his sleeves rolled up and no suit jacket. And he's on his Truth and Reconciliation Day at a $19 million home on the side of the beach there. With or without his wife, nobody knows. The amount of emails that people send that say they don't know where his wife is. That kitchen table is worth more than my entire... That kitchen table's worth more than all of my kitchen appliances, cupboards, everything. That one slab
that they had for a kitchen table. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't expect him to be slumming it, but the economy is a complete and total disaster. Inflation is through the roof. People are still not back at work. Lockdowns are back again. And I know we spent a whole heck pile of money because I pulled all the access to information stuff rebuilding Harrington Lake for him into the Taj Mahal of Trudeau. Go there. Go. If you need to get away from it all, go to the thing we already built you. Please quit traveling for non-essential purposes while the rest of us are apparently all locked into our homes. Wouldn't that be great?
Sheila, is this a new thing? I don't remember it from my younger days, but is it a new thing that the Obamas and the Trudeaus came up with where we're basically staying in celebrity-esque places? I mean, Donald Trump's already a billionaire. He has his own properties. You can lump him in if you want. But did Stephen Harper do this? Did George Bush do this? Did Bill Clinton do this where they're staying in gigantic $20 million homes all the time?
I think the Clintons spent a lot of time with Epstein, so let's just...
That's an expensive island.
And at Zorro Ranch, by the way. But yeah, like George W. Bush, say what you will about the guy, the Bushes went back to their ranch when they needed a getaway. The ranch that they owned, by the way. Or they would go to Camp David, which is like Harrington Lake. It's the president's getaway. Yeah, it's the designated getaway. So it already exists. It's not this extra taxpayer bill. Stephen Harper, as boring as they come, what did he do when he needed a break from it all? Go to Calgary, put a chinchilla on his shoulder, and watch TV on the couch? Like, that's what Stephen Harper did. It's fine if he wants to keep up the luxurious Trudeau lifestyle that he always had, but do it like Trump does. Don't make me pay for it. And what does he need a break from? The guy hardly works to start with.
I don't know what it is. I think it goes to the sense of, I don't want to say his voters, but maybe his fans of his celebrity, that everybody's supposed to be poor and we're supposed to distribute our wealth and we're supposed to care about the little person. But at the same time, we want to be rich and we want to flaunt it all over as much as we can and take photos of it. It's a real world of hypocrisy we're living in, and maybe the new Matrix movie will set us straight, Sheila. Surely no weird messages will be in that. Moving from Liberal to Conservative, there is a caucus vote coming up for the federal Conservative parties on not whether to remove Erin O'Toole, because that's supposed to be a leadership vote, I believe. Sheila, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but it's a vote on whether to enact the power to remove Erin O'Toole. So to me, it kind of seems like we're seeing where all the chips fall with the members of the party. So we can either see, are you with Erin O'Toole or are you against Erin O'Toole? Maybe internally, because it's not a secret vote. It's a put your name on it vote. And does the party, do you think, just want to know who's on their side and who's not, so they can, appoint the right people in the next couple of years?
Yeah, there's a reason we have secret ballots, right? Like, so that nobody can come get you based on the way that you voted. And I'm just reading the CTV link that everybody sent me to prep for the live stream, but I was doing 4 days worth of work before we even got on air here. It says the Conservative National Caucus is not all on the same page when it comes to the political future. I almost read that political failure of leader Erin O'Toole as they head into their first post-election caucus meeting in Ottawa on Tuesday, where MPs are expected to vote on whether or not to give themselves the power to potentially oust them. That is one heck of a sentence. Where MPs are expected to vote on whether or not to give themselves the power to potentially oust them.
A vote on whether or not we should vote to have a new vote.
Yeah, to vote against the right to hold a leadership review is folly. Voting in favor of a review vote is not pleasant, but it is necessary. The status quo under the present circumstances is a mistake, reads an email from Nova Scotia Conservative Senator Michael MacDonald to the caucus, obtained by CTV News. Only that could come from a senator, because the senator cannot be fired. And Erin O'Toole doesn't have the ability to sort of demote them in the Senate the way that he would like, because an MP to speak out like that You're not going to get a critic's job. You're going to get shuffled to the back bench, and no one's ever going to hear from you again. You're going to be in the witness protection program from Aaron O'Toole.
And that's the new thing with the Conservative Party federally, Alberta, Ontario. You speak out, you get fired. MP from Yukon couldn't even keep his job, or sorry, candidate from Yukon couldn't even keep his role there for speaking out. So I think they want to, pull out the weeds from where they see them. They want to get rid of any Randy Hilliers. Yes, I know he's an MPP. I'm just saying they want to get rid of any dissenting voices they might have in the party and set up who's going to be, their core group, who they think they can trust. And it's going to be some familiar faces. I'm sure there'll be some new people who want to side with them. And they just want to know who they can have on their inner circle, because what it's become is a party of shutting people out, shutting out alternative ideas, shutting out different media companies, and we just need to shut out the noise. So I don't know, maybe we can get some World Economic Forum points behind closed doors or something like that, Sheila. And I also want to know, Senator Michael McDonald, is that the singer from the Pixar movies, I'm guessing? That's the same guy? Left foot, right foot. This is a bunch here. If Conservatives decide tomorrow to enact the power to prompt a leadership review, 20% of caucus would need to sign a formal agreement to trigger the process, and then it would require a majority of caucus to vote to remove the leader through a secret ballot process. Why do they make this so complicated? By the way, that's easy enough done if just some conservative MPs from Alberta are like, yeah, we kind of are sick of losing, so let's do something about it. So, to get to the numbers, that's fine, but why is this so complicated? Why can't they be like, who wants to get rid of Aaron O'Toole? And everyone's like, me, and then they have a leadership review. I don't understand why this is so wordy, verbose, and complicated. It's a collective of political nerds who want to maintain their power, I think, my opinion, and shut out everybody who might challenge them. They've got the official opposition status of the country, and if we start letting in these fringe quote-unquote ideas, then maybe we're going to lose our stranglehold in what the mainstream. They want to stay in the same club, which is the same thing with the press gallery of Ottawa. That's what the Canadian politics has become. This tiny little clique of people that most people have never heard of, never created a video that people watched or shared an opinion that people like. It's this tiny collective of, what's his name, militant nerd, as you called him, the conservative guy.
Militant nerd. Corey Hahn.
Yeah, it's the people like that. They want to hold on to their little circle that they've got. That's my opinion. You don't see too many people coming up with fresh new ideas. You don't see them ushering in Pierre Poilievre, who's the most popular guy. They're not pushing him to the forefront, because it's like people are starting to ask, where are these policies coming from? Where are these things that make you basically a mirror image of the Liberal Party? Where is this all coming from? I don't think they like people asking these questions. I think they want to keep their little circle tight and not have to, answer the tough questions that people actually want to know, because that's when we can't, pretend anymore. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, everybody who's watching at home, because my Skype feed is annoying me, so I know it's got to be annoying you. But I was talking to my friend Tom Harris from the International Climate Science Coalition. He's been around politics for a very long time, way back in the Reform days. And he said, Sheila, these people are willing to tank the entire country, do all the dangerous things that leads to Liberals getting reelected, so that Liberals can do all of the dangerous things that they want to do to the country, your family, your job, whatever, because they want to remain the safe conservative who never did anything controversial, because it's all about them and their future and their careers. They need to become consultants and lobbyists. And so to do that, they have to be very close to Liberals, because these consulting and lobbyist firms are largely Liberal, but they need a token conservative that appeals to the business community working for them. And so that's where these people are trying to get to at the end of it all. When they've destroyed the country, ruined the Conservative Party, they get that escape hatch of going into consulting because they were the boring, bland, blue liberal red Tory, which fits perfectly into these consulting firms. And the damage they leave in their wake, it really doesn't matter to them because they get what's theirs. And so if your family's unemployed, your pipeline doesn't get built, doesn't matter because they've got their gravy train with biscuit wheels pulling out of the station.
I think it's about time we say goodbye to YouTube because I look at our next topic and it involves vaccine mandates. So we'll just give a producer AD a couple minutes.
No, don't even say the word. You can't even say the word. There's some sort of strange blasphemy law about you can't even talk about the Rona because you're just going to end up like stuffed in a garbage chute of the internet. No one will ever see you again. That's how it works.
Most